It's been about a month since Ready or Not got censored, so we've had time for the dust to settle. So let's take a look back to see if these changes were as bad as people were making them out to be. And we're also going to talk about a difference on the console version that Void Interactive never mentioned. And we're going to go over the downgrade, because I actually thought this was like a conspiracy or something, but it's really happening. But first, let's go to where all of this began and take a trip down memory lane and see what Void actually changed when they censored the game. The first change was in Twisted Nerve, where the child in the bed is no longer convulsing, instead she's going to be sleeping. In 23 megabytes a second, the photos of minors are changed to a bunch of papers and documents which apparently lead to the Mindjot server. And in the level Lethal Obsession, Hide and Seek and Narcos, nudity is removed. So nothing too crazy in my opinion. You know, the game's still playable, the game still hits hard, which is the really important bit. So I didn't really find any of these as too much of a problem. I mean, my question is why? I mean, they didn't have to do any of this for it to go on console, right? Because there are other games on console which are a lot worse. Like the first one that comes to mind is like Cyberpunk. Considering Cyberpunk has stuff like dismemberment, yet it gets removed in Ready or Not. Even games like Red Dead or like The Last of Us Part 2, they all have this and are all on consoles, yet Ready or Not can't have it. Just a bit weird to me. But the main thing that people were mad about wasn't the actual things that got changed, but was the entire idea that any level of censorship is too much. And I do see it from that point of view, but let's be honest, it could have been a lot worse. I mean, we could have lost entire levels like Elephant, which is like a whole school shooting level, which is heavily inspired off the movie Elephant, which that is heavily inspired off the Columbine shooting. Or we could have lost Neon Tomb, which is heavily inspired by the Pulse nightclub shooting. So seeing Void Interactive mention these missions by name was a breath of fresh air when they said missions like Elephant, Neon Tomb and the infamous Valley of Dolls remain unchanged. Anyways, the community reacted pretty badly to all of this news and ended up review bombing the game. And even now, about a month after this happened, 24% of reviews are negative, and in the month of July alone there were 20,000 negative reviews, mostly just spewing the same nonsense, like, you know, censorship is bad, so Void Interactive is bad, so the game is bad, just copying each other like a bunch of Neanderthals. And honestly, I don't think review bombing is that effective of a strategy, considering the game already has a decent fan base around it, and it's already got a reputation of being that one good tactical shooter. And honestly, I don't know if it's just me, but I don't look at Steam reviews. Like, if a game is good, I'll know it's good because I've seen a YouTuber play it or I've seen some of my friends play it. But that's just me speaking from personal experience. Let me know if you guys are different. But definitely for a game as big as Ready or Not, review bombing probably wouldn't do much. You know, it's basically the only tactical shooter, because like there's hardly any competition besides older games like SWAT 4. I guess you could say the review bombing didn't really do anything, because looking at Steam charts, which isn't the only way to see if a game is doing good, but is a pretty good measure, looking at Steam charts, Ready or Not has gone from an average of about 5,000 to 14,000 players. Of course, this could be because of all the drama around the game recently, but even if we look at console sales, Ready or Not sells 1 million units on console in under 4 days. So yeah, it's not working as good. Okay, let's move on to the PC update, which completely ruined the game. So when Ready or Not came out on console, PC players also got an update, which gave us like new levels, new guns and all that good stuff. But it also decreased textures. So here you can see a before and an after picture. It ruined shadows, again, before and after. Even the AI, like the teammates that you have when you play single player, apparently, now I can't confirm this, apparently they killed this one suspect and civilian. So, you know, we got new content, but we also got a complete downgrade. And one of the main mods did address this, saying, we are investigating both the low res textures and the broken lighting on many maps, and we are also aware that CS gas may not be acting as intended, which if you're trying to do non-lethal runs in this game, you know CS gas is quite important, or at least for me, it's a pretty good way to do it. You know, you throw some gas in the room and run in with your beanbag shotgun. Speaking of non-lethal runs, speaking of getting S ranks, I finally got it on Valley of the Dolls, so hype me up in the comments. And on the topic of Valley of the Dolls, we have the secret change that Void didn't tell anyone about on this level. If you know anything about this level, you know that the basement is super creepy. Like, you've got the room with the barrels, the room with the camera and the crib, and you've got the shrine. Now this is the bit of the level which everybody remembers, because this is like the huge gut punch, because that's how Ready or Not is. You know, every level has its own gut punch type of situation or scene, you know, something which isn't mentioned in the briefing and something which you probably wouldn't expect unless you've played the level before or seen somebody else play it. So just to give a little bit of context, if you don't know, this is like a shrine made by Amos Vol to his daughter, who is underage, and you can see the pictures are everywhere, there are words everywhere, you can see them for yourself. It's pretty weird. And on the console version, they decided to replace Janie Vol, who is the daughter, with those creepy toy dolls that you see in horror movies, which is still weird to have in your basement, but isn't as like hard hitting, you know? Like, don't get me wrong, this is still a weird thing, you know, it's still a good gut punch, but it's not the same. Even with the other 3 rooms being here, it still doesn't hit as hard. But to soften the blow, we did get 2 new levels called Stolen Valor and Hunger Strike. We also got a grenade launcher and a non-lethal pistol. Also, I got an S tier on Valley of the Dolls, so I got the Hawaiian shirt, so just make sure you hype me up. But that's gonna be it. See ya.